I'll be doing a deep analysis, a deep breakdown. So yeah, let's just get straight to it. We're looking at gold and I'm on the 1 hour time frame. So you know, I'm gonna use the very same resistance we had, which now we use it as a support, right? And again, remember, support and resistance is everywhere. Just because you do not see it doesn't mean it's not there, right? And again, we use bigger time frames to analyze and to see the moves, and then we execute on smaller time frames like the 15 and the 5 minute time frame. So going back straight to it, you know, we see that, hey, firstly, gold has reached new highs, as y'all can see, right? Gold has reached new highs. We can see that firstly, gold did manage to break that resistance which we created there, right? As y'all can see it, gold did manage to break it, and yet we had that retest. So in this case, this shows you that you have to trade the markets for what they are, right? The market should come to you, not you chasing the market. Trade the markets for what they are. Don't make things hard as they seem, right? So as y'all can see it, we had that push to the upside, and eventually, as we know that in every impulse we have a correction, right? Or a retest, whatever you choose to call it, right? So we see that price did push. Eventually we did have our retest, and again we did continue the very same trend, right? And if I was to go on the 15-minute time frame, you would see it properly, right? So I just want to show you all this. If I was to go on the 15, you would also see that eventually after we had that break, right, we just played first. So like this was gonna be the first confirmation that, hey, price is showing us signs that we're gonna push to the upside. And why am I saying this? Firstly, seeing price just playing or just consolidating in one place for a period of time, right? This has to tell you something. Price is rejecting on that support and we're not breaking it. So that has to show you something that, hey, we're just rejecting and we're not breaking. Eventually we had a subsequent bullish candle. So that would be the confirmation. But just because you see a subsequent candle doesn't mean you have to jump into the trade, right? Patience is key in the market. If you do not have patience, I guarantee you're not gonna last. Because trust me, this is a game of patience. You gotta be patient for you to take trades. Timing is really crucial in the market, right? So as I was saying, we see we have some kind of support there, right? And let me do this for y'all to see it better. We have some kind of support right there. I hope y'all can see it better. We have some kind of support which we created, and eventually we had that subsequent candle whereby we started that uptrend again. We continued, right? So y'all can see that when it comes to gold, gold tends to always continue its trends. Like whenever it starts a trend, it continues with it. And then back to the 1 hour time frame, right? When we go back to the 1 hour time frame, y'all can see that eventually I think it was Friday night, if I'm not mistaken. It was FMOC. We did see that price did spike to the upside, created new highs, right? But eventually we had our retest and price did continue its fed trend. So this just comes to show you that you gotta trade the markets for what they are. Don't make up your own setups in your own head, right? So I just hope y'all can keep up with me. I just hope y'all can keep up with me. So now as we see again, obviously we're looking towards to see, hey, what will happen on Monday, what will happen, the next week. But again, when it comes to me, like personally, I don't like to trade on Mondays. Why, you may ask? I feel like the market just opened and everybody wants to jump in, and obviously there's gonna be some kind of fogment, right? The market is not gonna move in a proper way. So back to our analysis, we see that price eventually did push, and again we did have that retest again, and price did continue. So if you held your position, probably that buy right there, okay, fine, you were good. And again, here you would have that second entry position, right? But again, just because you see a setup doesn't mean it's a setup, right? There's time to take a trade and there's a time to sit back, not to watch, but just to sit back, right? Just because you are a trader, just because you are a full-time trader, doesn't mean you have to be in the market all the time. You're gonna end up being a chat zombie. You're gonna end up making your own uh setups. Like, that's all an illusion, trust me, right? So as y'all can see that, like, the market, like, never make things complicated. Let's trade the markets for what they are. I always tell people, trade the market for what they are. And again, if I was to use those zones, we would also see that, like, gold really respect all those zones, right? For example, I'm gonna use this wick here to create some kind of resistance slash support, right? As y'all can see, even though that candlestick didn't hit it straight, but y'all can see that eventually, after we had that retest, we did manage to push, and then price did retest on that support, and eventually we had that subsequent engulfing candle to the upside. So this just comes to show you that, hey, when it comes to zone support resistance, you can use it as your strategy too, right? For example, we did also create some kind of resistance up here, right? And obviously, you would just want to jump in saying, hey, price is gonna break. But again, you have to look at both ways, right? You have to look at it both ways. Eventually, we see that price did create that new high, but we did kind of start retracing to the downside. We continued pushing, we did retrace again. So what I mean, we see that we have those higher highs, higher lows, higher high, those higher lows, and then we created that higher high, right? And then obviously the market is closed. As we all can see, the market is closed. So eventually we see that we are in a bullish trend, because we have those higher highs, those higher lows, those higher highs, those higher lows, higher highs, and those lows, right? So what I'm really seeing, just being honest with y'all, as we see that we did create some kind of resistance up here, right? And price didn't like tend to break or reject or nothing. I believe that price might still continue consolidating on that new record high, and probably price might retest down back to 2600, right? Price might retest down back to 2600. And why am I saying that? Firstly, I see we did create firstly I see that we did create a resistance up here, and again price rejected, and again we had that subsequent bearish candle to the downside, but it wasn't that powerful, right? Again, trade the markets for what they are. If you know what you're doing in the market, you're never gonna be confused. Why am I saying that? Because trust me, I've spent months practicing and learning about candlesticks, risk management. Like, trust me, back testing, doing all that, it's not a waste of time. Eventually it's gonna pay off, right? Eventually you're gonna see that, hey, my fruits of labor are eventually paying off, and you're really gonna start enjoying it. Because hey, who really doesn't love making money? So stop being lazy, stop complaining, stop trying to buy robots, stop trying to buy signals, and start putting in the work, start being serious. Because at this point, it's you versus you, right? Nobody's coming to save you, only you can save yourself, right? So it's all up to you. So back to our analysis, let's jump back to the 1 hour time frame. Let's jump back to the 1 hour time frame. I hope you all can see, right? So jumping back to the 1 hour time frame, we also can use our Fibonacci here, and I'm going to show you how to use a Fibonacci, and we're going to use it on past data. And again, one major key point: before taking trades, before doing anything, before analyzing, always look to the left side. What do I mean by that? Always check the past data. What's up, right? Sometimes the market tends to repeat itself. So when it comes to the Fibonacci, right, we place it where the trend starts and then where it ended, right? And as y'all can see, we're looking at the 50 and the 61.8, right? And y'all can see that on the 50, eventually we did start having those rejections. I hope y'all can see it clearly. Y'all can see that on the 50 we did eventually start having those rejections. Y'all can see, right? Eventually when we started getting there, price started just like consolidating, like doing no moves, playing there. Eventually we did reject and we had a beautiful candle. So that would be a confirmation while using a Fibonacci. And as y'all can see, we did reject the 50 and we impulsed to the upside, right? So just being honest, I'm really seeing gold probably retesting to the downside, because hey, in every impulse move eventually we have to breathe, right? I understand gold is hitting record highs. I understand gold is really on a bullish streak, but I know that eventually price has to breathe. And if price is to come to the downside, right, if price is gonna drop to the downside, if price is gonna drop to the downside, I strongly believe that we might even end up coming to retest that support down there, and eventually, right, and eventually we might continue again to the upside. So it's just us looking at the market, like in different type of views, because like trust me, you wouldn't want to call yourself a trader using somebody's signals or using a robot, because that way somebody is hustling over you, right? That person selling robots, I bet you, doesn't know how to trade. They're just making money off you and you also falling for it, right? Like, no hard feelings. I'm just speaking the truth out here. So I just hope my analysis makes sense to you. I trade in a different way. So yeah, you know, that's just it. Like, nothing crazy, nothing much. It's just me showing y'all what's up. But I strongly believe price is gonna reject that resistance which we created up there, and probably, we're gonna have that pullback to the downside, to that support down there. And yeah, we'll see how price goes. But that's it, nice and short and simple. And again, I like to thank all my supporters, all my viewers. I'm really grateful. Everything starts small, eventually it's gonna add up, and I promise I'm gonna keep on improving. I'm gonna keep on giving you content, and like, I'm gonna give you more, like weekend alive, day in a life, things like that, right? So yeah, keep on practicing. Let's get this money. Brizzy signing out.